this is Janet with Try It Like It, Create It, and today I'm going to be etching a jar using Etchall etching cream. So I'm just going to go through the materials I have in front of me. I have my etching cream, I have my etchall scraper, I have a pair of scissors, I have a strip of vinyl from Etchall, I have some paint markers that we're going to use later in the project, I have a paper punch that's going to give us our design. And this is the glass jar that we're going to be using. I want to say I got it at the Dollar Tree, but it had a sticker from Dollarama on it, so I'm guessing I bought it in Canada when I was there. So I have a cute glass jar, and my bottle of alcohol was empty, so what I'm going to do is I am going to use hand sanitizer to clean my glass. And so I am just going to squirt the hand sanitizer onto a napkin and rub it all over the surface, and you can use this in a pinch. I can hear it squeaky clean. The inside of the jar was a little dusty, and I wiped it out, but it may not be perfectly clean because it looks like I still have kind of a ghosty look to it. All right, so that's clean. I'm going to set it aside, and I am not going to handle that. Now, in front of me, I have a craft mat and also a piece of white paper underneath what I'm working on. And the reason I'm doing that is because my table surface has a glass mat on it, and if I get any of the etching cream on my glass mat, it will etch the surface. So you want to be careful and just protect the area that you're working in. So I am going to I'll just start by punching just to kind of show you what I'm talking about here. All right, so I'm going to punch, and then this is the area that the cream is going to go on. So I need to cut this large enough, and that was probably a little too close there to the edge. So let me see if I can get this in a little further on this one. And then I am going to apply my etching cream. So I am going to do this and then be right back. Alright, so to apply these onto my jar, what I'm going to do is grab a little pin here to peel my vinyl. Now, I didn't need to use transfer film because these are pretty simple vinyl pieces. And so I just want to try to hit the center of the top, hopefully. I did a good job there. And now I'm going to work on the sides, and I may find that I need some more punches. So we're going to work here in a variety of colors all around the outside of the jar. So I am just going to, you can see what I'm doing here, is separate the vinyl from the backing paper. There we go. And I'm going to peel those apart. And then I am just randomly placing them on my jar. I'm not too worried about the outer pieces of the vinyl. What I want to worry about is where the flower sticks down. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll be back. So I've added all of my flowers onto my jar. And just to show you, I have the punches that I can save and use for another project. So I am going to sit those aside here. And then the other thing I wanted to show you is that going around the jar, if you come into an area where you need to wrinkle the vinyl, as long as it's away from your cut shape, it's no problem. So I went around and made sure and pushed with my finger or my thumb on around all the edges of the flowers to make sure that they were stuck down well, and that any wrinkles like this one here, I used my fingernail up against the edge to make sure that it was flat against the flower. Out here it doesn't matter, but I just want to make sure that the edge of the flower is sealed down completely. Now, I am going to go ahead and cover this with my etchall, and because I have some spaces that I don't want to etch that aren't covered, I am going to apply my cream with a paintbrush, a dedicated paintbrush. Okay, so I have kind of a junky paintbrush here, and I'm going to apply it into each of the flowers, and then when I'm done, I'm going to wait 15 minutes, and then we'll come back and remove all of the cream. So I am just going to start here by dipping into the cream, and I am just going to pat it. Now remember, I can be generous with this because it's reusable. I will just scrape it off of here when I'm done and put it back into the jar. So I'm just going to tap on the flowers, and if you want to work in sections, like if I just wanted to do this section here and go the 15 minutes and then come back and do another section, I can definitely do that. The other thing I can do is do this etching, see how it looks, and then if there's other spaces that I want to fill in with something else, maybe a polka dot, maybe a smaller flower, I can come back and do that. So I can etch the glass more than one time as long as it's you know, a new area that I am etching. So I am just going to work around and cover everything, and I'm going to do the top at the last bit. And I can also come in and add more after like 5 minutes or so if I feel like it really needs to be covered better than what I've got going. So I am just going to tap this on here, and I will be back to do the reveal. The 15 minutes have passed, and so now I am going to remove my cream and then give it a wash. And so what I'm going to do here is use my paintbrush to kind of just pick up and remove what's there and put it back into my jar because it is reusable. So I just want to pick up what I can, and then we'll move on. All right, so the next step, after you have removed all of your etching cream, and you can see that I wanted to make sure that I got as much off as I could. Even though I wasn't using a terrible amount, I could afford to waste it because of my bottle being so large. But I did want to take it all off because with the next step being to wash, I don't have a sink in my craft room. And so what I opt to do is to clean it off with some wet baby wipes. And so before you take off your vinyl, you want to thoroughly clean the area. So I'm going to clean each of these flowers and make sure that I don't get any of the etching cream outside of the vinyl area. So you can see there's some here on the edge of the vinyl, and I am just going to rub that off and make sure that each flower area is clean. And when I go to remove the cream as well as cleaning, I want to make sure that I don't get it in these little negative areas. All right, so it looks like I have them all cleaned off, and the next step is to remove the vinyl. Now, with the baby wipe that I just used, a lot of times I'll save my dry baby wipes to reuse for either crafting or to be used dry, but since it had the cream on it, I am throwing those out. I don't want to contaminate anything with the cream. So you can see here that that's the first flower. you can see as I remove these vinyl pieces. And then once I've done this, I will go back in and clean the jar one more time with a baby wipe because I am not at the sink. Okay, so I just want to make sure that everything is nice and clean. And this vinyl that I'm using here, I am going to throw away. I will not be reusing this. So you can see that the jar is now etched. One thing I didn't notice is that there is a flaw in the glass right here. And once I've etched it, it is showing up, but I didn't notice it. I can actually feel it as I rub my finger over it, and so it's showing up in the etching. But I like what we have so far. And like I said, I could go back in and add some polka dots if I wanted to. I don't know. I think I'm going to color it and see how I like it from here. So the next step I'm going to do is I am going to use these paint pens, and we're just going to go in and color each of the flowers. And I have some tissues here to wipe off the excess color that I don't want. So I'm going to kind of buff the color into the flower and give that a go and see how it works. All right, so that is pretty wet and quite a generous amount of color. So let me try that again. I am just gonna try to stay within the flower itself. And we may end up changing to a different brand of paint here, but I really liked the color combo of this. So I'm going to let that dry and see how that goes. And you can see it's has a lot more water content than this color, although this one is still pretty wet itself. You can definitely hear where the etching is. Right? So let's just let those sit and dry. And then I like the thickness of this one a lot better. All right, I like the results I'm getting. I am going to go over these again and get them darker. And so you can see what the technique is that I'm using to color these. And I am just going to do it a couple of times and then come back and show you my end results. All right, I have tried a number of different products on coloring my flowers, and what I have settled on and what I like the best so far is this metallic wax paste. It's called Bora Bora, and it was given to me by Zuri Designs, and it is their metallic wax. They have different colors. I really liked this green and decided to go with all of the pieces in green. So I've tried all kinds of markers and paints on here, ended up removing as much as I could with alcohol, and now I'm going back over and just buffing it with this paste, and it has this beautiful shine to it, a real subtle color, and it is adhering well, and it has a great smell to it. It says on the bottle what's in it, but I forget what the scent is, but it's just very pleasant. And as I rub this, and I think, wow, gosh, I'm not getting a great amount of coverage on this one area, but then I go to move it and it has a metallic sheen to it. So this has worked out to be the best, in my opinion, for coloring these etched flowers on here. And I love the result. And hopefully, I don't know if you're picking up any of the shine on video, but in person it is just glorious. So I'm going to stop messing with this, I think, and call this done, and just finish polishing up my glass, of course cleaning off my fingers, and then taking my final pictures. But there we go. That is going to be the final of the jar.